Hey, good morning. It is Don't At Me. If you don't think Nikola Jokic wasn't the best player in the world, I got nothing to tell you. I got nothing I can do for you, because last night, Nikola Jokic, my Serbian brother, went out and dominated. You know, yesterday, Doug Gottlieb and I said this. We said we'll find out whether or not the Nuggets are a real team in Game 3. You know, the Heat culture, the Heat this, the Heat that. They outplayed them. Malone was mad. Malone's the coach. And we'll find out, because you go on the road in a series after a defeat, you got a choice to make. Oh, ho-hum. Or are you going to get mad? Pros are always going to play. They're always going to play hard. They're always going to try. I don't care what anybody says. In the NBA Finals, maybe not in January on a snowy day in Indianapolis, but in the NBA Finals, it wasn't going to be a matter of that, but there's a different edge to when you play with anger, a different edge when you play with angst and determination. And last night, you saw a championship quality team in the Denver Nuggets. Now, Jimmy Butler et al. Said, well, we didn't have energy. Well, then you got to go to Affinity Whole Health, get a testosterone shot, or go to your neighborhood place. I got a testosterone shot, and I'm not even going to tell you how the night ended up last night. Oh, baby. Anyway, so the Heat said they played with no energy. Jokic, I don't care about energy. You know what I care about? 32, 21, and 10. 32 points, 21 rebounds, and 10. Energy this. I've told you about Jamal Murray for a couple years now. Jamal Murray showed out last night. 34, 10, and 10. First time teammates have had triple doubles. Look, you can talk about energy. You can talk, well, we didn't do that. Blah, 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 blah. No. No, absolutely not. Those numbers shine because superstars shine. I've been telling you this about baseball. Mike Trout needs a postseason event, a moment. So Shohei Ohtani needs a moment in the postseason. You got to do it in the postseason. Hey, man, you dropped 62 in January against the Pacers. Yay! You got to have a postseason. And when you do something in the finals of the NBA or the World Series or the Stanley Cup, when you do something that's never been done before, like be the only teammates to have triple doubles, then that's where your stars show up. You can't do any better than that. You just can't. And it is all about stars. Now, on a basketball standpoint, and I'm not going to nerd it up too much for you, but did you see the left corner? Did you see the corner where Duncan Robinson was? They had a guy in the left corner. We told you about this yesterday. Swing it, middle, left side wing, left side corner, left side post. I turned it on. And the first thing when Duncan was in, particularly in the fourth quarter, when they kind of were sealing it, holy cow, they played out of the middle, opposite, left corner. Left corner guy cut. He didn't stand. And that was that Braun kid, 3-point plays. Look, I didn't get fired. Well, I didn't get fired, actually. I didn't stop coaching because, well, I don't know. I don't know anything about basketball. I'm a freaking savant. You know, people criticize my record. Well, I got to tell you, 7 out of my 10 years lost my 2 best players. 5 out of 10 I lost my 3. If I tell you something about the guts in basketball, it's going to happen. First player in finals history, 30, 20, and 10. When you do something first, F-I-R-S-T, that's being a star. That's showing up big time, and I don't care what you tell me. I know Duncan Robinson's been great. I know Christian Brown's been great. They've all been great. But stars have to be stars in finals, in World Series, in Stanley Cups. I don't care where it is. Stars must be stars. And that's what you saw it last night. All right, so last we saw Mike Malone, the head coach of the Nuggets. He was blanked off at his team. He was hot. He was not happy. Well, guess what? He's a little happier. Here's the coach of the Denver Nuggets talking about Jokic and Murray.
You know, I've been with Nikola for 8 and Jamal for 7 years now. And we've had some pretty good moments, but not in the NBA Finals. And for those guys to make history the way they did tonight, no one's ever done that. I mean, that's what's really neat about it. You get the win. I thought our defense was fantastic tonight. You hold that team to 94 points, 37 from the field, only 11 threes. that really helped us out tonight, the defending and rebounding at a high level. But by far their greatest performance as a duo in their 7 years together.
That's what I'm saying. Look, when stars are stars, you got a real chance to win because guess what? You're playing against the best of the best. I don't care whether they were an 8 seed. Nobody played better. And I mean, nobody's played better than the Heat. So, like Mike Malone just said there, you got to have your best players doing things like what happened last night. Do they always have to be a double-double? Of course not. But they must be stars. And you saw it last night. Now, there's another side of it, right? Eric Spoelstra, not happy at all, right? Spoelstra saying, wait a second here. We got to do better. And he ain't wrong. Go ahead with Spoelstra.
Yeah, it's a great duo. Their games really complement each other. You have one guy that's, really can score in a lot of different ways. Another guy who's setting great screens or handoffs. And then if the ball gets back to him, he can get a bunch of people involved. And certainly at the beginning of the game, that kind of set the tone. But then from there, we lost a lot of physical 50-50 or ball in the air, ball on the floor battles throughout the course of the game. At key moments, when the moments could have been swing moments, they were coming up with those plays. You have to expect that, not losing the battles. You have to expect there to be elite talent in the finals, and both those guys are elite level talent. At our best version, we find ways to overcome that, make it tough on them, and then certainly not lose the overwhelming majority of those physical battles, 50-50 battles, ball in the air, ball on the floor battles, and that made it too much to overcome.
Yeah, and here's what he's saying. He's saying, not at the end of the game where people look and say, well, they got beat to a loose ball or Duncan Robinson had a 3 to make it 7. The game was over then. There are certain games that when you get it to 10, you're coming back. Last night was not one of those games. What he's saying is games are won and lost in the middle. Momentum swing plays. I get a loose ball, I kick it, we hit a 3. You don't get the loose ball. That changes momentum. Game-winning shots are massive, and I say it all the time. Look, let's be honest. Keith Smart, game winner, left baseline, Indiana. I got a national championship ring. Bob Knight wins his 3rd and last, and Jim Boeheim was a bum. That's the way the world works. However, the plays before that set it up. And sometimes the plays before that, in setting it up, you never recover from. And the setup and the setup and the setup led to a 15, 18-point lead for the Denver Nuggets. Now, if you get half of those, instead of it being an 18-point lead, maybe it's an 8-point lead. And now you can play the game. Now the game's going to come down to certain things. But what Spoelstra is saying is in the middle of the game, early, middle, mid-late, they didn't get any of them. And it led to the 18, the run out, where now you're just battling, you're hoping, you're trying to make threes. You get it to 10 with 1:15 to go, and you think maybe, but you just know. When you've played enough and coached enough, there are certain games you're like, wow, we are going to come back. 10 points is nothing. There are other games, even though you get it to 10, you're like, yeah, this isn't going to happen. You try. I mean, you want the shot to go in, but you know it. You just know it. And I don't know how to explain it other than the way I've always explained things. Supreme Court justice, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it, talking about pornography. That's just the way it is.